What's going on, everybody? This is Will from the That's How You Feel podcast. I'm here with my main man, Brandon, Sarah. First things first, how's everybody feeling today? Ladies first.
It's a better week this week, but I don't know if that's because of me, like just not tuning in as much as I was last week, or if it's because things are a little bit better. I'm just being hopeful. What about y'all?
Chilling. Simple, sweet, chilling.
That's
Indifferent.
it? That's
Yeah,
That's
it?
it.
right? Just
What you want me
chilling.
to say? I'm chilling.
Uh,
We gonna get into it. You want to see?
that's true. That's true. Well, I'm good. Um, I can't complain,
That
but I do have something on my chest before we get into what we're gonna talk about. I gotta talk about something. Um, pertaining to everything that's going on. So I'm upset. I'm kind of annoyed and upset because I said in a previous episode, right? The smarter that we get, the more tricks that they're gonna try to use on us, right? So this is something that I caught onto, and a lot of people caught onto it as well. Um, back when I don't want to say back when, but when we were asking for defunding of police department, right? It was like I was like, oh snap, that's a big move. But now fast forward like probably a week or two later, like what we've gotten is like Black Lives Matter streets named. You know what I mean? Like we diverted our focuses in other directions
Did you say
before finishing the task at hand. Say it
Did
again?
you say Black Lives Matter streaks?
Yeah, like
yeah,
they're
they're
naming
changing the
streets
names of
Black Lives
streets.
Matters
Oh,
road
streets,
streets.
Yeah.
streets,
Yeah,
streets.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and like we were diverting our focuses in other places instead of like finishing the task at hand. And David Banner said this best. He was like, "It's good that everything like things are moving in the direction that they're moving in." I'm paraphrasing, but we got to finish one thing first. Like that's one thing that we've yet to do is finish, accomplish, or um seek see the end result of something that we was trying to accomplish. We got to stay focused on making sure the officers arrested for George Floyd's murder is charged and prosecuted. We got to uh, make sure that charges are brought upon for Breonna Taylor's killers. Like, I don't know if Ahmaud Arbery's killers
They've been
are,
arrested. They're going through trial.
yeah, I
Breonna
don't, yeah,
Taylor's murderers are the only ones who weren't arrested,
but
which is some bullshit.
we gotta keep the pressure on those things first, so those things can um end favorably for us instead of what we're doing right now, which is we're diverting our energies into all these other things, or we're being diverted into all these other things. So yeah, that shit
That
just got
street name stuff, that they just giving us scraps, like little by little, trying to give
word.
us Juneteenth holidays off, which we gonna take a holiday off regardless. But and literally all scraps,
Yo, who cares
yeah.
about that?
They just want us to be quiet
Who
for a
cares about
second,
that?
but people are still out there marching and protesting. But we gonna get into the protests later after in the show. I really
Yo,
want to talk about. I'm glad I got y'all. This J. Cole and No Name incident. Have y'all been following it?
yo, I'm so
Explain.
confused.
Wait. Explain, sir, because no, I have not.
You didn't hear about it, Brandon? Okay, so basically, J. Cole made this song called Snow on the Bluff. And he was in the song referencing some women that he said he knew more than him and stuff like that. And J. Cole personally feels like he's not doing enough for the cause. And everyone said he was talking about No Name, and then No Name retaliated with all the shit in the world you could be talking about, and you talking about
Yo,
me. Like basically, in my opinion, it was a song about his ego. But I'm gonna let Will go first since you seem like you got
all
something
right.
you want to
So
say.
one, I'm not gonna diminish the topic, right? But again, this is another example of something that we do not need to be focused on right now, as of right now. I'm not telling people what to focus on, but like for me, that's not. I listen to the song. I listen to the song, and
Which song?
honestly, Snow in the Bluff.
Oh, okay, because No Name just dropped one like literally like 10 minutes ago.
All right, whatever.
Go
uh,
ahead.
so I listened to that song and I was like, yo, this is a very like without all the noise. And I didn't even get into the whole social media back and forth. I was like, yo, this is mad introspective. Like he's acknowledging what he where he's at and how much more he could be doing and like how a si- uh, a sister like a woman of color probably black woman has made him realize that. I'm like, yo, this is dope, Cole. Like, you know what I mean? Right on. And then I hear all of this, and I'm like, yo, first of all, what are y'all? I was like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, it's just a song. I was like, yo, what is everybody doing? Like, for real, it is just a song. Like, we have other things we gotta. What are y'all doing?
So
Like, I
wait,
was just so mad. Like, I was
what's the problem? Supposedly,
like,
J. Cole called somebody
Say it
out.
again, Brandon.
Yeah, I know. You said
nah,
J.
he
Cole
didn't.
called somebody out. What's going on?
So
So,
the lyrics, I wish I could read them to you, but it was pretty much like he read No Name's timeline because she stayed posting about the cause and stuff. She's radical as fuck, abolitionist, wants to abolish the police, and he was saying that like, yo, you know so much, you're smarter than me, but your delivery is not the best, and you should say it nicer to people so that if you say it nicer, they'll receive the
I
message
ain't even get
better.
it like that.
Basically,
I didn't
he
really.
literally said that. How could you not get it like that? He literally said, there's something about her tone that bothers me. You don't got to talk down
Yeah,
on
but
me because you
that
know
was
more
a
than
him
me.
thing. That wasn't like a yo, you need to be nicer to everybody else. It's just
So
like,
why don't we
yo, I
pull up
see
the
where you
lyrics so there's no um issue on what was said. I'm confused. I didn't hear the song. I didn't
were.
know. Um,
All right.
so what this really is talking about. This is what the problem is here is not about what it is, but once again, this is a male and a female issue. Is that what this is? What this has become? Y'all didn't hear me. I don't know. It's frozen. I
You a
don't.
No Name fan?
Yes, I am.
You just
Hold
froze,
on.
Brandon.
Y'all didn't hear
Sorry. I
anything
didn't
I
hear. No.
said? Yeah, of course. I already understand this episode is gonna piss me off today because it's freezing up and back and forth. What I said was so what this issue really is it's a male versus female thing again. That's what this
I
is
don't.
really turned
I,
into.
people are
It's a
turning
B.
into that.
It's
I
not
don't
even a.
think it's that.
It's it's unnecessary.
But it's just it emphasizes the argument that Black women always say all the time, that Black men do not protect us or listen to us as much as they should be. But
I
obviously the
you,
internet is dragging it out. I'm pulling up the lyrics though. But you can't tell me it's not about his ego, and I'm gonna tell
all
you
right.
exactly why it's all about his ego. One, I'm paraphrasing until I pull up the lyrics, but one, he said, "You're smarter than me," which already he admitted she has an upper hand in terms of this
Or
conversation.
maybe he could be just saying he's smarter than
Two,
me.
which means she has an upper hand. I'm not saying like in general, but about this cause specifically, she knows more than him. Two, that's not what it means.
No,
All right.
I'm just keep continue.
Two, he said, I read a tweet about yours and I took it personal. Why are you taking her general tweets personal? If someone says something, you take it personal, that means it's more about your ego than it is about you, no?
Not necessarily, but go ahead, continue.
If I say
Continue.
niggas ain't shit and you commenting on my thing or whatever, you don't think that's
Because
about you?
my thing is you could take that personal and not necessarily take it personal, meaning like you're talking about me. But
So how
the message that you're sending out there for other people to then jump on that you can take that personal. I don't got to think you're talking to me, but if I say something about women, right, I might not be talking to you. You taking this, you might take what he said or how he threw his message at No Name personal, and he wasn't even talking to you. I don't know, but some women do. And is that a accurate statement? We take everything personal if we feel like it relates to us or if we have investment in those feelings. So that's all I'll say to you on that. Like he could hear something more that she says and take it personal or not think she's talking directly to him.
I guess if you want to interpret it that way, I don't interpret taking something personal that way, especially personally enough to make a song about it. Because if it's about the tweet that I read, the tweet was mad general. And the tweet was basically, and she deleted it, which is why people think it's about that tweet. But it was basically like niggas want to profit off the Black struggle, but they don't want to fight for it when it's time to fight, basically.
Continue.
So do you want me to read this whole verse, Brandon?
I
Or
want you to read the part
Oh
that you're talking about.
okay,
yeah,
so
just yeah.
well, you could give your argument while I'm finding my little
All right,
lyric.
so boom. The thing when I listen to it, I understand that I understand he was talking about somebody or talking directly to somebody through the song, but I didn't see it as any ego, like and like him stroking his own ego. Like he didn't brag about anything. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that." Like he didn't. I didn't hear none of that. Like and I was just like, okay, like he thought that somebody, because I didn't know it was no name at the time. He
I
thought
didn't
that
either.
somebody was had sent wrote a tweet and it was subbing him and he wanted to respond. And the way he responded, he didn't get mad. He didn't do any of the like, you know what I mean, like anything problematic in his response. I thought that he was just like, yo, I see what you're saying, but yo, it could be it could be said differently. And I know and from what you're saying, I know where I gotta do better. Like maybe there is something I'm not doing. That's very self-reflective in my eyes. So the fact that this is even a thing, like that there's even attention being put on it, like on the internet, like it's like, first of all, that sounds like an A and B thing. And it's a whole lot of he say, she say. So it's like what are we what
So you thinking that J. Cole's
what
pushing the narrative that black men don't protect black women? That's what you
It
think.
wasn't. I don't think he's pushing that narrative. I'm saying like. So basically, what he said, he got offended by the tweet, right? To me, the tweet wasn't disrespectful
What was the tweet?
at all. It wasn't like you niggas ain't shit, you niggas are pussy, y'all can't fight for nothing. Like
What
it
was
wasn't.
what
It
was the
wasn't.
tweet?
To me, the tweet was. She deleted it. I mean, I don't even know if I can find it now. I'll try to Google it. But the tweet basically was like, you want to fight, you guys want to, you rappers, your favorite rapper want to profit off the black struggle, but don't want to fight when it's time to fight, basically. Something like that, paraphrasing. I took it as practice what you preach and show up when you need to. That's all she said, pretty much. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't disrespectful, but because she had like a slight little attitude in the tweet, like you took offense to that.
You want to know why I took offense to it, and I'll tell you why.
Go
Um,
ahead.
here's why I took offense to it. What did everyone and their moms is screaming for? Which two black artists right now? Majority, like as far as
Kendrick and
popularity
J.
goes,
Cole.
exactly. For right now, everyone and their moms is screaming for them to say. And if I can't hear me, I apologize. I can't tell when y'all can't hear me, but everyone is screaming for them to say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's talking. Oh, they're not saying nothing now. They're real quiet. They're real quiet. They're getting bashed by the community. What have they been doing for the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, right? What have
10
they been doing?
years.
The music that, huh?
Talk about it.
The music that they've
Singing
been
about
putting
it.
out, exactly. That's all they've been doing is talking about it. What have this community done to them as far as their music?
Bought
We
their
shine it. We
music.
not really. As a whole,
Nah.
as a whole.
Look,
Oh, we can't play that shit in the club. Anyone want to listen to that? Oh, that album was trash. That shit was whack. That's all. That's all that happened. So now this shit
Oh, like
happens
the
now.
stigma of conscious rap. But I mean, people, but everybody loves Kendrick.
I guess I
My
can't
thing
really
is
hear
like
what
this
I'm
one
saying.
lyric that
Once again, I
that
can't
got
really
me.
talk today. I, I,
No, I heard you. I
I'm
know
a
what you mean. Like it's not like some club shit, so they're not gonna run up those numbers or whatever. But one lyric that I was like, whoa, hold on, boy, you got to dip on your chip. All right, instead of conveying you're holier than me, come help us get up to speed. Basically, she was like, instead of belittling people, why don't you educate us?
that's a
But
fact.
all
That's
No
a
Name
problem.
does is literally educate people. Do you follow No Name on Twitter?
That tweet, I don't have to. That tweet you just said was an attack at somebody. Yes or no?
But it brings me to my point. All her, I mean, it was. I see why he was mad, but to me, it wasn't even crazy to make a whole song about it. That's not. It wasn't even
I don't
disrespectful.
think.
But
Look,
No
here's the
Name.
thing. Before you, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
No,
off,
go ahead.
but the thing is this,
So
right? The reason why Cole came out with a song is not, it wasn't to directly go at No Name. I feel like No Name was like the spark of it, meaning like her tweet and then things that played out over time, like moved him to talk about it. 'Cause I'm pretty sure if it was just the tweet and that's it, it would have probably been no song. But one of the things that Brandon brought up and that we all can agree on is the fact that throughout this whole thing, when people trying to have artists be engaged. They're only singling out two people who have dedicated their whole careers to exactly what they want them to speak about. And for me, I'll give you an example. Now I'm gonna give you two examples
Wait,
that
hold
tie
on. Wait,
together.
what are we talking about right now? Because I'm looking at this tweet that J. Cole put out. That. What are we talking about here?
I
What's the
don't
tweet
know.
you're looking at?
Can I read this? He
Yeah.
says, "Morning, I stand behind every word of the song that I dropped last night. Right or wrong, I can't say, but I can't say it was honest. Some assume to know who the song is about. That's fine with me. It's not my job to tell anybody what to think or feel about the work. I accept all conversation and criticisms. But let me use this moment to say this, right?" And he goes on to say, "Follow No Name. I love her and honor her as a leader in these times. She has done and is doing the reading and the listening and the learning on the path that she truly believes is the correct one for our people. Meanwhile, a nigga like me just be rapping. I haven't done a lot of reading and I don't feel well equipped as a leader in these times, but I do a lot of thinking and I appreciate her and others like her because they challenge my beliefs and I feel that in these times, that's important. We may not agree with each other, but we got to be gentle with each other." Then a reply was when J. Cole said, "I look at freedom like trees, can't grow a forest like overnight. Hit the ghetto, slowly start planting your seeds. Hashtag snow on the bluff. If you listen to J. Cole music, let each other follow." So we're talking about a beef right here that ain't even a
It's
beef.
not a beef. No, I
So
didn't say it
I
was
don't
a
even
beef.
understand why we even
But
talking about this right now.
so like for me, I'm really like moving away from the whole No Name and J. Cole as the issue, because the issue is really like with people jumping at artists to come out and say something or come out and support. And I forgot who said it, but no, I think it was Trevor Noah who said it. He was like, no, it wasn't Trevor Noah.
I just
So I
I want
forgot who said it. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
I know where you're getting at. I just want to bring attention because there was something that was hit that needs to be addressed about the song that was nitpicked a part of the song and an attack. But also we forget in the song, he called her a queen. Um, he said we need to be educated, offered advice, and ended the song saying like he felt he isn't doing enough, and y'all found a way to twist his words and make it negative. So I don't understand how we can hear things that we want to hear um, to make us feel a certain way and not address other things that may have been said as far as whether or not a black man supports a black woman or whether or not his ego's getting in the way when there's other things in the song that suggest that it's a fine, or he was being very genuine in what he was saying. I don't think he was being malintent in any way. I don't think his ego was being brought up in any way. And for him to go on social media like that and be that calm about it,
I think the song was honest. It's how he felt. I can't tell nobody how to feel. I'm saying, like, you said, don't belittle us, educate us. This is my point. If you follow No Name on Twitter, which I have for about a year, and she's probably been doing this way before I followed her. All she does is educate people, right? All she does is post the readings. The bitch literally started a book club so people can understand where she's coming from for the free.
Hey,
All she
that's a
does
woman
is
thing.
educate people.
Okay.
She had one little frustrated moment where she was like, yo, no one's listening to me. Like, everybody has a breaking point if you're a whole, at least for as long as I've been following her, which was about a whole year, all you're doing is posting, this is what we should do, this is what we should do, this is what we should do, this is what we should do. And then one little second of a breaking point, she says something that was slightly crazy. It wasn't even disrespectful. And then this whole song comes out as if she wasn't educating people. That's what
but
she's doing.
did you hear
You told her
everything
to
I
do what
read?
she's already doing. And again,
Did
I
you
love
hear
J.
what I
Cole. I'm
read?
sure his intention was pure. Did you hear
Did you
what I
hear?
said? I heard the song, and
I
I
heard
read
every word.
the tweet
I heard
thread,
every
and I read the
word you
tweet
said.
thread.
Yep, I heard every word you said. Did you hear what I read about what J. Cole said? He said y'all could think who the song is about. He's not. He's not admitting. He's not saying y'all. We are assuming it's about her.
I know. He
Clearly saying y'all can assume that if y'all want to. That's what he's saying.
did. I mean, he kind of put the fuel in the fire by tagging her, but I'm sure it
Exactly,
doesn't
because
mean it's
people.
about her. And that tweet
No,
doesn't
he
mean
didn't
it
put
was
the
the
fuel.
tweet that ignited the song.
He didn't put the fuel in the fire. Everyone who assumed that it's about No Name put the fuel in the fire. So once again, we're stuck on attacking J. Cole, and he's like saying, like, he's making anybody pretty much. If you can read that and still have the thoughts you have, that means you wanted to think that anyway. There's nothing that he can say is going to change your mind. That's what, and he
Nobody.
literally went and told. He said everything you just said about No Name. He said in that tweet. Everything you just said. That's why I said, you hear what I said? Everything you said about No Name, he said in that
I
tweet.
read the tweet. Didn't need you to read it to me. No Name has
Clearly
been
you
doing
did.
what you didn't hear the song, so I can't even argue with you the way
I
I
don't have
want
to hear
to.
the song. I'm hearing
All
about
right,
what you're saying
It
and
doesn't
what
make
J. Cole
sense.
said.
I understand what he tweeted. Just because saying someone is wrong doesn't mean I'm attacking him, first of all. Y'all mad defensive. I love J. Cole. I'm a big J. Cole fan. I'm disappointed in the song. Just because I said he's wrong doesn't mean I'm attacking him. I understand he gave her big ups. I understand he had pure intentions, but it's not about his intention. It's about the reception. She felt the way about it too. She wrote a song about it. I understand, like, that's the craziest part. I'm not mad because obviously both of them at the end of the day have the same end goal. They want to implement change for the betterment of Black people. I get it. But his approach, I don't agree with it. And I understand
So what's the right approach?
You told someone to do something that they've been doing for years. She's been educating people. He literally said, I feel faker than snow on the bluff because deep down I know I'm not doing enough. How is that not about his ego?
What?
It's
He's admit.
it's
He
so
said it.
it's
He said why. He said
self-reflection.
what it's
There's
about. He literally said.
time out. It's the difference
All right,
between
bro.
your ego and self-reflection. When you're engaged in your ego, you are not thinking about anybody but yourself and how it only affects you, like, in the most selfish way possible. He by way of the song, he is talking about his own self and how he wants to and how he's micromanaging himself, how he's being reflective in himself and what he's been doing up to this point. Like, being open and honest and reflective is not catering to your own ego. Because he could have been like, yo, he could have did a million other things to flex his ego, especially being at the height that he is and the height that No Name is at. Not to compare the two, but the reality of the fact, he could have did something way crazier, way crazier. This is not an ego thing, and I understand where you're coming from because he's speaking on it, but he's speaking on it in a very reflective way. This is like almost like a couch talk, like he's in therapy or something like
Okay,
Not
that.
I
even
like the
just
way you
that.
put it. You put it in a better way than I put it, for a fact. It definitely was self-reflective. The thing that bothered me was when he was like, something about the Queen's tone that's bothering me. Like, it just made no sense to me. Cause
And you,
again, she's been putting out gentle. She had a mild attitude in one tweet, and you gonna base a whole song off that one tweet as if she's not allowed to be frustrated for once? Like, you literally told her to do what she's already been doing.
Okay, look. No, you're right. You're right. But that song,
yeah, I wish
I think.
somebody would have. I wish somebody would have hit up in the chat. Listen to this song, please, because I doubt. I really do doubt. That this is as big as what this is. I don't even, like, once again, I know for a fact that there's probably no clarification on who the song's about. I
It's
know
not.
for a fact that there's no name that was dropped in that song. So once
It's
again,
not.
we're assuming.
We are.
But
Okay.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? And Sarah, to your point, I'm gonna say that you're right, but you gotta understand this. I feel like that song was a conversation to J. Cole from J. Cole.
That's what I'm
If you
saying, but why put it
but
out? Because
but
I feel that way too.
but hold on. I feel you. I feel you. He put it out because he and this is and this is to my point. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this, so we can move on. He put that song out because it's not only just No Name who is singling him and Kendrick to speak up and say something because they're the top two
She didn't
rappers.
single him out.
But I'm not I'm saying she's not. This case is not the only case that J. Cole has been singled out for the lack of what he's doing or whatever the case may be. Like I said before, like I feel like this is a culmination of events that led from the tweet to this point, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, I want to speak
It's
on
not
it."
just that her. If it is about her, it's about everyone that calls him out. Like he's been a supporter of the community. He's been a supporter of all the
He's
females that have been
marched.
in the Black community that have been done wrong. He's made full-on songs about them. He's brought them to justice. He's walked, he's marched, and no one gives him that credit. So what I'm saying is he can be upset too. It's not just that her. When you attack someone and say, "Oh, your favorite artist," and most of the time they're talking about J. Cole, they're talking about the Kendricks, they're talking about these
Drake.
people.
All of
But
these
you're
guys.
assuming.
Because no one. No, we're not assuming. It's a fact. Literally, we had this whole post I
I'm
can pull up where it's like,
specifically
oh,
no
you know,
name. I
J.
mean,
Cole and Kendrick Lamar, they not. No, I'm assuming that it was about. I'm not assuming it's about him. I'm saying this from what we are talking about today. You're saying that tweet sparked that song, and I'm saying if
supposedly,
that's
if
the
it was
case,
that tweet.
that's what you said. And if that's the case, then I'm saying if that's the case, it's not just at No Name. She's not the first one to make a tweet like that. So when you hear tweets like that, when he's saying educate, don't belittle, he's also saying if you feel this way about someone in your community, there's better ways to get them to want to advocate than to call them out like that and have the people turn against them when their track record shows that they've always been for the people. What I'm saying is you maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe he took that and maybe he blew it out of proportion and made a song that was actually pretty mature and respectful. It's not like he belittled her in any way. He literally, people can disagree. He disagreed with her, right? And then from that tweet also said, yeah, we disagree, but he respects her. He respects her, how she goes about things, and literally pointed out everything she does. And him saying, oh, that's not him. Not everyone's a leader. He knows that about himself. He's not that leader. So if that's what he's saying about himself, he wants to grow. He's acknowledging that. But what I'm saying is, yes, to Will's point, it's not just her. It's everything. It's not just to her. It's to everybody that calls out people like that. You're turning a whole group, a whole following against them.
And to finish off my point,
hold
hold on.
I didn't say you. You have no following to turn against them. People with a platform like that, I'm saying you can literally have. If someone follows you, you can literally persuade them and force them or manipulate them into liking or not liking. It happens all the time. Wars start between stands all the time. Communities tear each other apart because of these celebrities all the time.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And to finish off my point, because that's perfect segue.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
To finish off my point, and it's Eric can take the last word, and then we're gonna bounce off the next topic because
people, and it's Dave Chappelle that said this. He was like, "Yo, George Floyd just died. Who the fuck wants to hear from me?" And that's the problem. A lot of people in all these situations, especially our people, they run to celebrities for what they want them to say and what they want them to do. No, the celebrity status, the celebrity can actually make the matters worse if used incorrectly. Like it's not about putting a face a big name to a situation that affects everybody in totality. No, we have to work collectively. You don't need a figurehead to speak on your behalf. Everything that we're doing as a community will work if we work at it the way we're supposed to. Like we're not supposed. Like I hate when people expect celebrities to speak up. First of all, I don't want every celebrity speaking for me. I
feel you.
So people need to relax. People need to focus, like I said in the beginning, because all this is getting us off the track. Like we're not done with what we need to get done, and this is not helping at all.
That was literally what No Name said in the response that just dropped like 10 minutes ago, but I didn't expect y'all to listen to it because she literally just dropped it. But my thing is, the last thing, because we could get off the topic, shit is already at such high tensions. I'm not gonna critique the next person's move to implement change because we're all frustrated and we all don't know what to do. So I don't know how you would think it's okay to critique someone else when we're all just trying to figure it the fuck out. Is all I'm gonna say. We can move on to the next topic.
We can move on, but while we move on, I will say that tweet that she put out also critiqued somebody's way of doing things. So on that, we can also agree to disagree. Yes, J. Cole, you can say.
Yeah. No, she did. She did critique someone's way of doing things.
That's all I wanted to say.
Or lack of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
We all like both of them. Point blank. Period.
Ain't nobody. Yeah. So
no
malintent towards anybody. Is And
Yeah.
I like the fact that they both being respectful about it. Like once again, that's what we need in the Black community. We don't
Facts.
always gonna agree, and but if y'all can disagree and talk about and still be mature about it, I'm all for it. I don't care who disagrees with who criticizes who. We still strong. That's what matters at the end of the day. So
Facts. We just want the same things, pretty much. All right. So, wow, that was pretty heavy. All right.
Out the gate.
Nah. Yeah. For real, out the gate.
yeah,
Uh,
I couldn't even get what I wanted to get in the beginning because my connection was bad and I kept cutting off. Y'all couldn't hear me. So
yeah. I know. I
uh,
was like, I know he's gonna be pissed because he got to repeat everything he just said.
Right.
But now there's a group of Black people across the country being hung, apparently, and it's being ruled as suicides. When we all know they're not suicides because ain't no
of
Black
course not.
person going out like that, especially not in public, just out in the open where everybody could see them. Um, and then there's a whole Rashard Brooks, him being shot in the Wendy's. Did any of you see the video? I didn't because I don't
Yeah.
like seeing
I
Black
thought
people dying like that. All right, does anyone want to
I
describe
cut
it?
it. I cut it off before he got shot, but I did watch up until the point where they were going to apprehend him, and then I found out, or I read that he supposedly grabbed a taser and pointed it at the cop, and that's why the cop shot him. Whatever. What happened was the guy was sleeping in his car. He was sleeping in his car. He was drunk, pretty much. The officers pulled up on him and pretty much pulled him out the car. Was questioning him how many drinks he had that night. And he was telling them pretty much, he wasn't really doing much. He had, a cup and a half. I forgot. I think he said margaritas, something like that. It doesn't matter. He offered to walk. He was like, I'm just sitting here. I'm in my car. I live right down the road. I can just walk. They had no proof that he was even driving the car. Right? When they found him, he wasn't operating the vehicle. He was just in his car sleeping. They decide to question him. Then they get him to take the breathalyzer. And it comes back that he's too drunk to operate the vehicle. And shit goes left from there. I don't like, even if people can say, oh, he was wrong for doing what he did. He was wrong for lying. He was wrong for grabbing the taser. He was wrong. The cops were wrong. They instigated that whole situation. He's in his car. He's sleeping, right? If anything, what you could have done once he said, obviously he knew he was messed up. He couldn't drive. He did the proper thing. He messed up in the beginning. He fixed himself. He went in that parking lot. He tried to sleep it off. You see him like that. What you can easily do after he tells you, I live down the block. Well, let me give you a ride home. Let me give you a ride home. Or someone to drive your car back. Let me give you a ride home. No, because they didn't want that. They wanted something to escalate. They wanted him in cuffs or dead. That's what they wanted, and I
But
can't stand that.
even if he's wrong, like I hate when people say that too. You don't have to die. Like there's a
Exactly.
Yo,
reason why they have handcuffs.
yo. And this is the shit that pisses me off. So this is not the okay. This is not the first video that I've seen this happen, but more importantly, there are countless other videos of white people fucking up police officers. I
Reckless.
mean, fucking up police officers, and they are alive. That's the key point. They are alive. So that's very telling. The point that to Brenda's point, like there was a tweet, not a
Can I
tweet, a post that
can I
I
add on to that real quick?
go ahead.
And you can continue. What you just said, I'm going to take it even further, just to make a point. The ones that were killed, white people will then say, "See, it's not just you guys. They kill us too. Like it's normal. Like it's supposed to happen."
Like they not supposed
Yo,
to be mad.
Yeah,
Like,
yo,
exactly.
I
So
I and to that point real quick, I saw a video. I don't, and this video is probably going to resurface. I saw a video of a white man with a semi like police approaching a white man on he was in his truck and he had a semi-automatic rifle, right? They get out the car. He gets out the car and he immediately shoots the cops. This caught all on camera. He shoots the cops. I don't know if they're dead. They probably are. RP, but he shoots like so
I don't think we
it's
do that.
just
I think we got to know.
it's just
yeah, that's pretty important detail.
Yeah,
no like he like this is again this is very telling. And Trevor Noah said this because I was watching this getting updated on this and all that. He said it at the end of the day, the cops responded to somebody and they saw that he was drunk. They saw that he was drunk. And the parts of the video that didn't surface until later was them having a conversation with this man. This man was composed and calm, a drunk man, composed and calm, talking to the police officers and confessing that, yo, yeah, I'm a little inebriated and I was in my car trying to sleep it off. Like I have my like you said, Brandon, his sister lived right around the corner. He's like, I'll walk. Like for a drunk man to have to like tap into his logic, because as being inebriated at any level, you lose coherency. So for him to be coherent enough to say, yo, I will walk home, and the end result still be the end result, that's crazy. And on top of that, there was a post that said, yo, guilty people are not supposed to die either. We have
That's a
a
fact.
federal system, we have laws.
There's a reason why you go to court.
There's a reason why you get arrested. There's a reason why you go to bookings. There's a reason why you await a date in
Did
trial
they
for
say why?
X,
Like,
Y, and
what
Z.
was even the reason of them arresting him? I mean, I'm sure
No
they didn't.
reason.
Which
So
guy?
they just was like, get your hands behind your back, like out of nowhere.
Who?
The
The
cops.
police officers.
Like, what was
With
the charge? Like, he was sleeping in
because
the
he was
car
because they charged him with a DUI pretty much.
without driving.
Yeah,
That sounds like the craziest shit in the
because
world. Because he
in
was
their
trying to
eyes,
do the right thing.
exactly. But in their eyes, how'd the car get there? And that's so stupid because it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'm assuming the
Like any
Wendy's called the cops on him. I'm assuming an employee. I
somebody,
don't know if y'all
yeah.
know.
I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't know all the details. I stayed a little. I watched that video and I kind of like, you know, didn't really read up on what happened and the
Yeah.
details that after. So,
And and it's crazy too, because like any part of the conversation, they could have said, "Sir, we have to bring you in because." But even then, they didn't even have to bring him in because they didn't catch him in the act of driving. So that's not
and
cause for
he didn't
DUI.
have to say
Like,
yes. He all he had to do was be like, you know what, like I've been driving for hours. I pulled in. I'm just tired. I'm just sleeping. You know, he maybe that wouldn't have got him off, but he chose. They probably would have arrested him either way. If he would have said no, I
word.
don't want to breathalyzer, they probably still would have arrested him. But he didn't have. There was no reason for him to be at the car. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He fell asleep in his car. It's not illegal. People live in their cars. So
That's crazy. I literally can't imagine what would even be the point of calling the cops if you see somebody sleeping in their car. Like,
And you know,
who was he bothering?
yo, and you know it's crazy because I was really thinking about this. Like, I was really thinking about this. Just off the top of your head, out of all the like police brutality cases, have you ever saw or heard a police officer reading a black person their rights?
you got to
Nah.
let them remain
That's
silent.
that no, like
Matter of
people, they
fact,
don't even have to say that. Like
The
just think
Miranda
about
rights?
just think about the level that this country has gotten to about how police interact with black people.
but
They don't even have to read the Miranda rights.
they don't.
Still get them.
When I was I told you about the incident on my license. You know, when they pretty much arrested me because my license was suspended. Um, they didn't read my rights. I didn't get my rights read until I was in front of the judge.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
they don't even give them the chance to. You shoot them before you can arrest them. What are you reading rights for
yeah,
if they're not in handcuffs?
But that's
I,
again, that's also something that's very telling. Like
yeah.
the fact that we don't even get the luxury of having our rights read to us. That's crazy.
Maybe they're not ours. Apparently. Yeah, so I read that whoever I think it was the mayor or somebody that's in charge was like, yeah, it was completely justified. Like that whole incident was completely justified. Again, I didn't read too much into it, which is crazy because it's just like so normal that we don't even want to read about it anymore or hear about it or see about it. Was that shot on a body cam, by the way? Like
Yeah.
it was a video from a body cam. Oh, at
Yeah.
least they got those
there
on.
was multiple videos. There was a video of, I don't know if it came from, no, there's a video of the dashboard and the dashboard of the police car, and I think there was a camera in the parking lot of the Wendy's. So they got footage from all three vantage points.
Different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit is wild. Like the fact that there are. Oh, I did read that there were 11 charges brought on them though, for felony murder. So that one specific cop whoever shot him is getting charged for it, which is not common in the cases that we always see on TV. But now, how do you feel about those 5 black men being found hung and then ruled a suicide
Bullshit.
without no investigations?
Bullshit.
One of them was a trans woman too, I believe.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. Way before we were so um in, like engulfed in all of these police shootings and all of that, in the underbelly, especially if you do your research in southern states, because it's more popular. Well, it's more of a thing in southern states. Black people were getting hung regularly. Black people been lynchings haven't stopped. Lynchings haven't stopped, even though it's a federal crime. I think it's a federal law with like lynchings are prohibited on a state level. On a state level, that shit is, for some southern states, that shit is right as rain. And
I read
black
that
people have
just
been,
became a law in 2020.
because of the media. I'm pretty sure it's because of the media attention. But
That's
2020
wild to think that.
and before, yo, I'm telling you, there's been a black person. There's been multiple black people hung every single year. Every single year. There's a list. I should have got it. I should have copied it. But there's a list of all the black people that were hung, like small towns reported on, all the cases, all that. So this is nothing new. This is just America. Like, this is America, because America essentially lynched black people after slavery, during slavery, after slavery, going into the 20th century, 1900s, Jim Crow, Civil War. This is a Civil War era, Reconstruction. It don't matter. It don't matter. People, black people, and a little bit of white people, because I know there are like people, white people who stood in the cause at the time. They got lynched as well. But this is an American
That's
tradition.
so wild. And they're not
Simple as that.
even showing no protests or nothing on TV no more, even though people are out there. But because they're not looting or rioting, they don't want to give them that kind of media coverage. Just a
Yeah, 'cause
narrative to describe black people basically
they
as
jumping back on the
animalistic.
Rona. They jumping back on
Exactly.
the Rona.
Not even that. They're
Right on
trying to
the
make it
Rona,
seem like
right
that's
on
done.
schedule. Which do y'all still believe? Yeah, that's
Exactly.
I just read that there was 21 states that reported crazy increases in coronavirus, and I know they're gonna blame it on these protests.
All
But
right, so I have well, for the most part, my mom knows people who are in different states in the country, and essentially those states that are now experiencing these peaks and spikes in coronavirus, they didn't have to shut down like the major cities did. They didn't go through through the process that the major cities did. It was more like a soft lockdown. Like, and because they're so spaced out as like countries, as states, it'll allow them, it afforded them that flexibility. So now, because of the states having the green light to officially open back up, um people are really moving like we are moving, like a city like New York is moving, as far as social distancing, as far as wearing your mask, washing your hands, all of that. Like, so those numbers, even if they are true, and I'm pretty sure in most cases they are, it doesn't reflect the uh, broader view of coronavirus, in my opinion. I feel like.
when this whole thing started, I was like, yo, it's probably just gonna disappear and they're probably gonna act like it never happened. And that's literally what they're doing right now, trying to open up everything as if nothing happened. Like there's no cure, there's no vaccine, there's nothing going on, but y'all wanna open everything up. There's no resolution at all. This shit don't make no sense. Do you see a change in your job now? Because I know you're an essential worker. Well, who be at the front lines. Do you think people are coming in more? Like, is it packed more
So,
nowadays?
okay, that's a good question. Um, So as phase one started, actually before phase one started in the city, they had up the count of people, the number of people that could be in a store from 10 to I think 25, 25, 35, based on the size of the store. So before phase one, they were already letting, loosening up, restrictions and stuff like that. But to your question, it's all based on the store, right? So the store's manager delegates how many people they let in the store. But they have to go by state law or state regulation for how many people can be in a store at one time. So that's a very gray area. And if you're a store manager and you want your store to have increased sales, you know, so increased sales determined by your traffic and your flow, like the flow of the traffic in the store. So that's what it is. Like to answer your question, I don't know if I answered your question, but
Yeah. Nah, I just noticed a lot of people have been going out. Have you been going out, Brandon?
Outside, yeah, but
Like more than before? I'm saying, like, are you feeling like things are a little bit back to normal in your life in terms of going out?
normal, no. But watching it, and it seems like no one's really. There's few people taking the precautions that they need, and other people are just out. And um, I don't know. I've been out more, but I'm still not doing the things that I would like to do.
Yeah, but
Um,
you still got your mask and everything.
yeah, I always go with my mask. I'm watching people that I don't.
Yeah,
So
when they don't, yo, I get so mad. Like, why do you think this is okay? And I don't know if just because it's where I live, but people do not care at all. This shit is wild to me.
I feel like coronavirus is going to be seasonal, just like the flu. Which is they're gonna bring out a vaccine. They're gonna bring out the vaccine at some point in time. 'Cause there's always been a
well,
vaccine.
Trump is against it. So
A
Yeah,
vaccine?
yeah.
I just read that they want black people. They need black people to test the vaccine on. There's some crazy shit like that. Like they need the experiment, basically what I read.
They're not wrong. I mean, I'm not
You
agreeing with it.
volunteering?
That's hold on. I'm not agreeing with it, but they're not wrong. Like black bodies, shit, we got a whole conversation about black bodies in this country. But we just by way of being black, I'm gonna just leave it that simple.
that's wait. So what do you get from them? I don't know what the statement was, but when they say we need black people to test on, and you get what from that statement?
I get the fact that I understand exactly what they mean. Like reading in between the lines, I understand what they mean from that. Just by way, what?
I was
You
looking at
don't
Brandon's face.
you don't understand what they mean?
Like they want to set you up to die. That's all I understand.
Yeah, I mean, but there's nothing. That's not anything new.
Oh yeah, like the Tuskegee experiment.
Yo, Will, what, bro?
That's not anything new. Are
So
you
you
serious?
understand what they're saying, but them trying to put things in our body to kill us is nothing new. So what do you
Yeah.
understand when they say we need more black bodies to test on? When you know that, if you in your words, it's nothing new that they do try
It
to
means that
put things in our body to kill
we've
us.
always been high target all the time. Yo, bro, this look, we are living in war times. That's how I see it. We are living a psychological, chemical, spiritual warfare. What that's the times we living in. And this, when I mean like this is nothing new, this is literally
I
nothing
guess you
new.
mean
Like
they've been poisoning us or trying
oh,
to in our
oh,
food, in our water,
So
urban
once again,
neighborhoods.
you get a positive out of we need more black bodies
no,
to test.
no, no. That's what I said. Because she
You
was
said you
like, "You
read it
agree
between
with
the
that?"
lines, and
Yeah,
you said you understand. You read between the lines.
yeah. I understand what that statement means, but it's nothing new. And I'm not, and I never said it as in, "Oh, I'm agreeing with it." No, I'm black, bro. What are you talking about? That's directly a threat towards me. But I also understand how this country has operated and moved since its inception. Like this is what they do. So this is nothing new to me.
I'll figure it out when I play it back. Maybe I'm the one that's bugging, but I'm almost positive that that's not what you said. I thought that's why I reacted that way. So you got it.
Not I like when she was like when Sarah was like, "Oh, you agree with that?" I was like, "No, no, no, hold on. I don't agree with it.
But
I'm
you said you
saying
understand.
that. Yeah. I
So you
mean,
don't agree, but you understand. That means you know what?
okay, if you can comprehend something, that doesn't mean you have to agree with it. You just understand exactly
No,
what was
but
just
my
said to
thing
you.
is this. My thing is this. When someone says, "Oh, like what do you think about transgenders?" Right? Someone might say, "I don't agree with it, but I understand how they feel in their heads, and you know, I don't know what goes on, so you know, I can't deny it." So when you say, "I don't agree, but I understand," it almost sounds like, I mean, I don't think that I would test, but I understand why they're saying, then you do need black bodies to test on, because you never know what could go wrong. That's what it sounds like when you say, "I don't agree,
I,
but I
I
understand."
didn't even say that.
No. I didn't say that's
But
what
what
you
you want me to
said.
say? Oh,
What I'm
fuck that!
saying is, what
Like
I'm
fuck
saying is, when
that.
someone says, "I don't agree, but I understand," that means that,
It came across a little crazy.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying to you. But let's move.
Like, cause
That
you were
was
just like, yeah,
the,
like I get
the
it, but I know you meant like you
exactly the
weren't
reason why I
surprised
said it
by
the way I
it,
said
is
it is
what you
because
meant.
it shouldn't be news. It shouldn't be
It's fine.
anything that's new
It's fine. You gotta
because it's
we
what they've
clear
been
now.
doing.
We clear.
All right,
And
bet.
then, yo, the news has just got me all the way fucked up. And then this fucking mayor in somewhere, I don't even know if he was a mayor, but he was like, yeah, it's probably, coronavirus is probably a higher threat in Black communities because they're not washing their hands well. When we just found out like a couple months ago that white people don't wash their legs. And
They
it
don't
was
even use soap
literally
to
like
use
a
the.
debate.
We can't do this. We can't
Bro,
do
and
this.
I was like, why? They were dead ass telling on themselves though. That was the craziest part to me.
I read
Sis
somewhere that they
said,
don't wash
yo,
their
I just
feet,
let
but
the soap
I
drip
don't
down
know.
my arms.
I
That's
don't know. I'm not gonna. We can't do this right now because then it'll turn to something else. But let's move on before we dig a hole.
nah, I want to dig the hole though because I was pissed. We don't wash our hands correctly. That was crazy.
We do have a little bit of time before Brian come on too. I don't
But
know.
yeah,
You didn't answer
I
me.
really want to go out there and protest. I know all right.
He didn't answer yet, so but
I want to go out and protest, guys, but I'm still scared to do it. I need y'all to encourage me. Mostly because of
Uh,
Corona, though.
what words of encouragement do you need to make you go out?
yeah.
Well, one, I don't even know what the protests are no more because it's in the city and I don't live in the city. And I don't know if y'all see it out and about where you are, but I don't. They're not as promoted, I feel like, as heavily as they were. I got to get in touch with the organizers, but mostly because of Corona. But I'm feeling like, fuck it. At this point,
Oh,
My
I
thing
know.
is, my thing is,
So
I'm noticing a lot of it is dying. My fault. I didn't. We started speaking at the same time. Go ahead.
is it
no.
dying or is it just, like I said, not in the media?
It's not in the
It's,
media.
Because
the
they just had
the attention is dying, but I'm saying,
no attention.
what's I'm noticing a lot of people are just protesting to protest. Like there's no plan or ideas of reform or change in mind. They're just out there. I think Cuomo had said something like along the lines of you don't need to protest, you won, right? And people took exactly like one second though. Yeah, y'all shaking your heads, but once again, that's the problem with everything in the world. Let's take a second and wait and hear or look into it before we judge, right? Or before we have an emotion. Pretty much what he's saying is you guys are protesting, you're getting a lot of attention, a lot of, whatever the case may be. What he's saying is it can't just be that though. So now you're protesting, you're one, you have the attention. There's efforts of being changed made in certain areas. Obviously, it's still fight. But what's your plan now? Like, what comes next after? What are your suggestions when it comes to reform? What are your suggestions when it comes to change? What things would you like to see? And a lot of people are, I'm not saying these people aren't doing this, but a lot of people are just out and just, let's protest. And nobody has an idea. Not a lot of people have an idea of what they think should be. It's not as easy as just it's not as easy as just saying, oh, we want to go out and change it. Obviously, it's not the case. So people will stop
Yeah, no.
because change isn't made too quick. But there's a plan. It has to be planned in place. Do you expect to see change in 5 years, in 10 years? Because we're going to see it next year. So what's the plan?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I saw somebody, an organizer, actually describe the protest as like, this is PR, like this is for attention. And once we get that, we have to do other things. But the plan is to defund the police, and he ain't doing it. So I don't know why he's
No,
asking like he don't know what we
Didn't he say he was going to defund the police?
want.
that's why I started laughing
Huh?
because
And
you know
he said he was going to defund them, but that's not a plan. Like that's not our plan. What do we get
That's
out
a
of
step.
defunding the police? So like that'll happen, and I'm sure he's going to do it. Cuomo's for the people. Like don't get that twisted. I rock with Cuomo.
Oh, he be on the fence
I
sometimes.
rock with Cuomo. I rock with Cuomo. That's just me. I'm not gonna say y'all two gotta rock with him. Obviously, it's politics, so maybe he's bullshitting. He got me under his, but then you'll be surprised at how many people they place into our communities that are black that got y'all under their wing. So I pick and choose. I like Cuomo. So a lot of people hear statements and don't even click the article and make the judgments off of those. I don't know, but from everything I've read and seen him say, I have no reason to believe that he can't. What can he do? He can't just snap his fingers and make a change.
Did he
Nah, but
say how much he was gonna defund, like what percent of the budget or something, or you don't remember?
I don't necessarily recall. I just know that
He
he
said
is
it's
definitely for
dedicated.
that idea. But that defunding the police is not a plan that changes anything really. Like what comes after that?
Well, I'm sure there are organizers
um,
somewhere that be giving him their demands, but hopefully he will defund the police. I guess that's the first step to
And I say that because you defund the police, then they get bitter,
wait for
right?
it and see. I don't know what you say, froze.
Yeah, I know. You defund the police, they get bitter, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
You see lack of protection in certain areas that maybe need that protection. Are we capable of policing ourselves? Do you know if that's the pot? If that's, and I mean that honest to God. No, yeah, we can. Are we
I mean,
capable
when the
of policing ourselves?
no,
NYPD went on strike, the crime rate went down.
I remember
Y'all
that.
not remember that?
I'm at that.
That says something to
Are,
me.
are we capable of
Look,
policing ourselves
look,
in our communities?
no. I'm
Because
gonna
you know
answer your
what the
question.
problem.
Hell no.
Okay.
But here's my thing. I have a plan. I have a plan. I have an individual plan. And I've said this before.
Yeah, 5 minutes before
When
you
it
come
comes
on to.
when it comes to this that notion, you gotta understand. Jay said it in '96. It's politics as usual. You feel me? Like when it comes to Cuomo, like I was very leery of Cuomo throughout this whole coronavirus thing because it is 2020. It's re-election year. You gotta be thinking like these people think. These people think 5, 10, 15 steps in the future. So it's not just all like, oh, yo, Cuomo's a good guy. Nah, people have that sentiment because of how he conducted himself during coronavirus. That's 100% fact. Like before this, Cuomo was on his way up out of here. People was his approval rate, I'm probably sure, is way lower than it is right now, and that's cool because it's politics as usual. So
Because those are
I'm
different
not going.
problems.
Say it again.
Is
Those
it
are different problems that you're worrying about. So whatever issues, especially with the schools, a lot of people was pissed at him about what was going on with the school system. Like nobody was rocking with that. He didn't want
But
close
you,
for nothing. Like that. A lot of things that people criticize him about are different issues. And you could say
I
it's 100% fact that I rock with him because of coronavirus, but I don't think that's the case.
I think he handled it the best,
he
coronavirus, in terms
did,
of
he did,
different
and
versus the president himself.
I give him a soft clap for that. But to the point of a plan, right? He said that he'll defund the police, but will he put those funds into the New York City Board of Education system? Because that the education system is trash, and they're severely under every other system in the city of New York, in the state of New York, is underfunded next to police, next to the money's dished out for police annually. So there is a plan. Like he, you could take money from a budget and allocate that money through legislation into another region, into another area. That's not rocket science. And the fact of the matter is, I don't trust him uh in this specific area because when it comes to De Blasio saying, speaking, when it comes to the commissioner speaking, it seems like everybody gets docile when the commissioner get on. Like the commissioner head nigga in charge. Like he above everybody because they don't touch on nothing that is literally the whole entirety of what the city's been dealing with, what the country's been dealing with, and that's policing. So when it comes to this defunding the police, that's a magnificent plan.
But do you think what
And
Brandon
what
said?
happens
Like, do you think
after is what I'm saying to you. Go ahead, sorry, my fault.
what happened?
do you
No,
think we
answer
could
Sarah's question.
No, I was gonna say the same question you said earlier. Do you think we could be all right without the police, basically?
But here's the thing,
Police
like,
ourselves.
all right, so people are taking it to the ultimate extreme. Defunding the police does not mean getting
That's
rid.
not
And
the
I don't
ultimate extreme. You're
getting
you're taking it as a literal sense.
rid of police
I'm
is an extreme.
yes. I'm telling you right now, when I said that, I'm not dumb. Obviously, I understand that the police aren't going to just become a non-existent thing.
Vanish.
When you defund the police, you're taking away from their money. Now if you take away from our money, maybe I'm bitter. Maybe I purposely don't do things for your community now. Oh, y'all want us
Right.
defunded? I guess I can take care of yourselves, right? There's so many things that can go wrong in certain areas, because of bitterness, because of hate, revenge, whatever. So in that case, then yes, it kind of does become non-existent in certain places. Maybe the very violent areas that may need policing, or supposedly very violent areas that may need policing, maybe those areas aren't as patrolled as much, and there's a lot of petty crime that goes on that ain't just shit that hits the news. So people meet at the end of the day, people need the police, but we need the police to be
Better.
police and not tyrants. We don't need them to be these power hungry, egotistic lunatics running around with guns. We need policemen. You shouldn't be afraid to call the cops.
And like David Banner said, there's two things that white people fear. It's the loss of life and the loss of finance.
What does William say? What does William say?
I say, I agree. That's the reason why I brought it up.
Thank you.
I feel like
I
feel like they could have defunded the police 10 years ago.
Yeah,
They
I was
could have.
gonna say.
They could have. And here's how you can defund the police. You can take away all the militarizing of the police. You can strip that back. Ain't no cost for that until you could call on the National Guard. There ain't no cost for that. You could demilitarize the police. You can implement training programs inside the police to be more to de-escalate situations better, to on emotional temperament, because on PTSD, on therapy, come on, bro. There's plans. There are plans.
Every plan you just said is bullshit to me. Sorry.
Yeah, but you just said that defunding the police, they're gonna get mad. Hell yeah, they're gonna get mad. But look what they're doing. Look what they're doing with the budget they got.
There's people who've been arguing for abolishing the police for a long time. Did anybody read up on that? Because I'm a high key interested in it. There's people who've been arguing to abolish the police for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really abolish. I don't know about abolish, but you change.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
From the top down.
Yes.
I don't find it feasible. I mean, or realistic. But I also haven't really got into their arguments. I feel like they know what they're talking about, though. Like Angela Davis has been talking about this.
I feel like there's a phasing out that needs to happen.
We got Brian in the waiting room, so I don't know how long you want to go over before letting him in.
No, we can bring him in.
Listen.